covering Romans 1:18 through 23. And the headline here says, ignoring God leads to a downward spiral. And that is so true. Everything that you can see that's going on in America is because we have been ignoring God for a long time. And so, verse 18, it says, but God's angry displeasure erupts as acts of human mistrust and wrongdoing and lying accumulate. As people try to put a shroud over truth, but the basic reality of God is plain enough. Open your eyes, and there it is. By taking a long and thoughtful look at what God has created, people have always been able to see what their eyes as such can't see. Eternal power, for instance, and the mystery of his divine being. So nobody has a good excuse. What happened was this: people knew God perfectly well, but when they didn't treat him like God, refusing to worship him, they trivialized themselves into silliness and confusion, so that there was neither sense nor direction in their lives. They pretended to know it all, but were illiterate regarding life. They traded the glory of God, who holds the whole world in his hands, for cheap figurines you can buy at any roadside stand. So God said, in effect, if that's what you want, that's what you get. It wasn't long before they were living in a pig pen, smeared with filth, filthy inside and out. And all this because they traded the true God for a fake God, and worshiped the God they made instead of the God who made them. The God we bless, the God who blesses us. Worse followed. Refusing to know God, they soon didn't know how to be human either. Women didn't know how to be women. Men didn't know how to be men. Sexually confused, they abused and defiled one another. Women with women, men with men. All lust, no love. And then they paid for it. Oh, how they paid for it. Emptied of God and love. Godless and loveless wretches. Since they didn't bother to acknowledge God, God quit bothering them and let them run loose. And then all hell broke loose. Rampant evil, grabbing and grasping, vicious backstabbing. They made life hell on earth with their envy, wanton, killing, bickering, and cheating. Look at them, mean-spirited, venomous, fork-tongued, God-bashers, bullies, swaggers, insufferable windbags. They keep inventing new ways of wrecking lives. They ditch their parents when they get in the way. Stupid, slimy, cruel, cold-blooded. And it's not as if they don't know better. They know perfectly well they're spitting in God's face, and they don't care. Worse, they hand out prizes to those who do the worst things best. If that doesn't describe America in today's day and age, just how much we've ignored God, covering up truth in such a great way. And in 2 Timothy 4:3, the Bible tells us that 4:3-4, that for the time will come when they will not tolerate sound doctrine, but according to their own desires will accumulate teachers for themselves, because they have an itch to hear something new. They will turn away from hearing the truth and will turn aside to myths. That's in the Holman Christian. And what I read, Romans 1, that's in the Message translation. It just talks about how, man, we've been in this day for a while where we've turned away from truth, and we've turned to things that, as the Bible calls, tickles our ears. That just, it's not true. The Message translation says that they're catchy opinions, that they turn their backs on truth and chase mirages. We've just turned away from truth to just things that sound good to us. That, as I talked about a couple of days ago, where origins in Ephesians 6, where Satan has come to rewrite origins using principalities and that sort of thing, to rewrite the origins of how we're created and who we are called to be. This just falls in line with that we look for purpose and meaning and things that sound good, and we ignore God. So when you ignore God, you look for purpose and a meaning outside of that. And, we are covering up truth. We can't even, decide what a man and a woman is anymore. We've known that all up until just a couple years ago. Now we're not even sure. Since we have refused to worship him, we have trivialized ourselves into confusion and silliness, and you just can see that the things we fight about are so basic things, we learned a long, long time ago. We've known, since the beginning of time, there's men and women, and it's the first thing they ask about a baby: is it a boy or a girl? And now, we can't even decide what that is. Like it says here, we're illiterate regarding life, just because we've ignored God. We just don't understand. We've just tried to rewrite reality. And then, just kind of repeating myself, refusing to know God. They soon didn't know how to be human either. Women didn't know how to be women. Men didn't know how to be men. We don't know how to fulfill our grand design, the purpose that God has created for us by being men and women. And when we're emptied of God, we're emptied of love, and that's why there's so much hate and just hate in the world. It's because when we've pushed God to the side, and God is love, and so when you push God to the side, we lose love as well. So I just hope this shed some light on some things that are going on, that just encourage you to walk in truth, to stand firm, to stay bold, to not give in to the mob. And I just hope this will help you to arise and be all that you have dreamed.